Tonight at 5, we're learning new details about a shooting that left one man dead on Madison's east side over the weekend.
Plus, the Wanakee community rallies behind a longtime basketball coach after the district decides not to renew his contract.
And the man accused of killing 4 Idaho college students was back in court today. We'll take you to the courtroom. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Right now, Madison police are investigating a homicide that took place yesterday on the city's east side.
A 32-year-old man was shot and died as a result. Kyle Pozorski is live at the scene tonight and joins us with the very latest. Kyle?
Well, today I spoke with the manager of the Lush, which up until recently went by Lush Lounge. Manager Eddie Lopez was busy clearing out customers from the private party and was in the parking lot when a fight started, calling what took place a tragedy.
It was a very different energy outside when the parking lot was clearing, and it was just a tragic, random shooting. I hope nothing like this ever happens again.
In December, the former establishment lost its liquor license due to an error on their renewal application in October of 2022. The business has now converted to being a reception hall for private parties. Lopez says Saturday night's party, which continued through the Sunday morning, was a bring-your-own-drink event. Police have not said if alcohol was related to the incident. Lopez went on to tell me that him and the other staff didn't get much sleep this weekend, trying hard to work with investigators on trying to figure out what the cause of the incident was. Reporting here in Madison, Kyle Pozorski for News 3 Now.
Kyle, thank you. Be the first to know as we learn more about this incident by downloading our Channel 3000 News app. It's free to download in your app store. Madison police are also investigating another shooting after a man arrived at a hospital with a gunshot wound. A 24-year-old man said he was parked on Carnwood Road Saturday night when someone pulled up and shot him. Officers received multiple reports of gunshots in the 6900 block around 11:30. They later found a damaged truck knocked over on its side and several shell casings near the scene. The victim told officers he crashed into the truck while trying to escape. No arrests have been made.
Another beautiful week of weather for southern Wisconsin. Julian Seawright out on the weather patio enjoying it with the latest forecast. Julian?
That's right. So we're starting off our Monday with a taste of summer. Temperatures into the lower 80s throughout much of southern Wisconsin. On top of it, folks, we're only really looking at a little bit of cloud cover, but the hazy skies is what has really been impacting much of our afternoon. As we lead into the rest of our evening, we're looking for things to improve, but still dealing with some of that wildfire smoke coming in from Canada as of right now for us here in southern Wisconsin. But temperatures across the board things are just really special. We're looking at upper 70s throughout much of southern Wisconsin, even to the lower 80s. 79 currently for Madison, 81 in Janesville with 79 for Platteville. Areas to the north near the Dells into the 81 degrees, but around Dane County, again, upper 70s, lower 80s. Definitely going to be optimal weather if you want to take the dog out for a nice little stroll or even just enjoying your dinner outside. Now, taking a look ahead, again, we've been dealing with some hazy skies, some low-level cirrus, but we are looking for temperatures themselves to slide into the 60s as we get into the rest of tonight with clear skies at our backs. Tonight, we're looking at us to fall to the middle 50s throughout much of southern Wisconsin. And as we get into tomorrow, it's going to be more of the same, except for a little warmer than what we've had. Lower 80s is what we're expecting, around 82 degrees for Madison, 84 for Janesville, and around 80 degrees for Platteville. And we're going to be entering not only a sunny, but a warm pattern. But we do have a break and some cool air coming into the later parts of this week. We'll be talking about how cool we'll get in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. Some big news tonight for Green Bay and the Packers.
That's right. The NFL announcing today Green Bay will host the 2025 NFL Draft. The main portion of that event is expected to take place on the playing surface at Lambeau Field and on the Titletown campus. Last month's draft in Kansas City had more than 312,000 fans attend that three-day event. Now, Green Bay becomes the 9th city now to host the draft since it became a bit of a road show back in 2015. Next April, by the way, Detroit will be the host city. Well, members of the Wanakee community are rallying behind the high school's recently dismissed boys basketball coach.
His contract was not renewed by the district 2 weeks ago, a decision which did not go over well at this morning's school board meeting. Our Will Keneally has more.
When he spoke outside the school board meeting here in Wanakee this morning, Coach Dana McKenzie said that he was overwhelmed by some of the support that he received.
It was really cool, to be honest.
Former and current basketball players, other coaches, all testifying before the Wanakee School Board, encouraging them to reverse their decision to let Mackenzie go.
He would come up to me every time and tell me he recognized the work I was putting in and just ask me how I was doing.
The school board made a decision to not renew his contract 2 weeks ago, which comes after a long push from district parents to remove him.
We certainly have had disgruntled parents. You know, it happens. It's in every sport there is. But what we try to do is do the best for for the kids.
Part of the issue there, how Mackenzie addressed playing time.
I mean, we have a policy in place that they signed at the beginning of the year on how to approach regarding playing time or any issues with our program. It was signed off by our school board years ago.
During the meeting, school board president Joan Ensign said the board could not address the calls to reinstate Mackenzie, but said that they would put it on a future agenda.
Our culture showed up today, and I've never been so proud to be a Warrior.
Now, Mackenzie says even if the district does not choose to reinstate him, he says that the support and advocacy seen today, he hopes that goes further to help out whoever might come in his place next. Reporting from Wanakee, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Well, thank you. And the district is currently working to post that coaching position for the 23-24 season. Washington County investigators are trying to figure out what started a massive fire at a wood warehouse in Slinger. The flames and a huge plume of smoke could be seen from miles away. You can see in this drone video how quickly the fire grew at the Oak Creek Wood Product Company. The flames spread along large mulch piles and stacked pallets before entering the building. I-41 southbound at Highway 60 was closed as crews worked to put out the fire for roughly 2 hours.
In Washington, Wisconsin congressmen are lining up to be possible challengers to Democratic U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin when she runs for re-election next year. That includes Northwoods Congressman Tom Tiffany, who has registered websites for a possible Senate run. We asked Southern Wisconsin Congressman Brian Stile who he'd like to see challenge Senator Baldwin and whether he would consider a run himself.
I'm not planning to run for the United States Senate. I think we have a lot of great candidates who will ultimately maybe make a decision to step up. What we can't have is a U.S. Senator that's a rubber stamp for the tax and spend proposals of President Biden. President Biden's made everything 15% more expensive than it was before he came in office. Inflation Democrats have really driven this country in the wrong direction. Their failure to secure the border. And so at the end of the day, I think it's really important that we have a strong candidate that's not a rubber stamp for President Biden.
Now, whoever runs next year will appear on the same ballot as President Biden. No Wisconsin Republican has formally announced yet. Senator Baldwin won a sizable victory in 2018, beating State Senator Leah Vukmir by double digits.
The annual Click It or Ticket campaign begins state and nationwide today. Law enforcement officers across the nation are putting an emphasis on buckling up as the summer travel season kicks off. Madison police say people who don't buckle up are 80 times more likely to die in a crash. Now through June 4th, officers will be increasing enforcement of seatbelt violations. Citations will also be issued for every unbuckled passenger in a vehicle.
WPS Health Solutions wants to make sure service members lost in battle are not forgotten this Memorial Day. Every year, employees and members of a Veterans Resource Group plant around 1,000 American flags around the company's campus to honor those killed while serving in our armed forces. The display began during the COVID-19 pandemic when gatherings were limited. The flag plantings come ahead of the company's A Walk to Remember ceremony this coming Friday.
You know, the flag is heavy, and the plant in each one of these is a person. It's not just a flag. It's someone that we're remembering, and sometimes when we heal, all of a sudden there'll be another reason to remember something a little more personal. And this week, there's definitely been some personal memories with Grady Karpasi's remains coming home.
Karpasi, a U.S. Marine, volunteered to fight in Ukraine when Russia invaded the country last year. He was killed in battle. The Sage traveled to New York this week to return Karpasi's remains to his family.
The man accused of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students late last year was in court today as his plea was entered into the record. Laura Aguirre tells us a conviction could mean the death penalty.
Brian Koberger, charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary, remained silent Monday when it came time to enter his plea.
Mr. Koberger is standing silent. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas on each charge.
Koberger did confirm he understood the charges against him.
Do you understand the charge in count 5, murder in the first degree? Do you understand the maximum penalty? Yes.
Kohberger is charged with killing 4 University of Idaho students last November at an off-campus house in the town of Moscow. Monday's plea comes just days after Kohberger was indicted by a grand jury. Latah County records show those proceedings are being kept under seal. A probable cause affidavit in January focused on Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra, seen in surveillance video near the crime scene. The same kind of car Kohberger was driving when he was stopped by a Washington State University officer last October for running a red light.
Yeah, I do apologize if I was asking you too many questions about the law.
Investigators seized that vehicle in December and combed it for evidence.
We know from the initial affidavits that there is cell phone data, there is DNA evidence, so that type of evidence is very difficult to defend against.
Prosecutors now have 60 days to announce if they will seek the death penalty. I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
The trial is set to begin October 2nd. 2 separate hearings have been scheduled next month to address concerns over the wide-ranging gag order that is currently in place. As it stands, anyone involved in the case is prohibited from saying anything publicly aside from what is already in the public record. Now to Florida, where the trial of a former sheriff's deputy who worked as a school resource officer during the 2018 Parkland school shooting is set to begin next week. Scott Peterson was widely criticized for his actions during the shooting, including not going inside the school to confront the shooter. He's charged with 7 counts of child neglect, 3 counts of culpable negligence, and 1 count of perjury. A trial status hearing is scheduled for Tuesday, the 30th. 17 people died and 17 were injured in the mass shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
Next at 5, talks resume as the deadline approaches on the nation's debt limit.
Plus, we'll hear from 4 astronauts who recently traveled to the International Space Station on a private SpaceX capsule. And later, a waffle iron recall to tell you about. We'll have details on that coming up at 6.
The week starts with mixed numbers on Wall Street. The Dow Jones Industrial Average loses more than 140 points, but the NASDAQ adds 63. S&P 500 up less than a point. We'll be right back.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Did you leave the lights on?
No.
What the?
I'll go check it out.
I'm not a raccoon whisperer, but I can help you upgrade all this.
With free installation on Feldco windows, siding, doors, and roofing, plus no money down and no interest for 1 year. There's never been a better time to upgrade your home.
This offer ends soon. Hurry. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
You've got this. You didn't think your sister would take you up on the dog sitting offer, but here you are. Barriers purchased. Doggy distractions, no expense spared. Yeah, you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with $50 overdraft grace zone. So when you have to make a purchase, or 7, to prepare, you can be sure we're looking out for you, so you can look out for him. You've got this with Associated Bank.
Spring into action and save on stressless seating at the Century House. Now get $400 off all classic power recliners, signature-based recliners and ottomans, and cross-base recliners and ottomans. And get $400 off most sofas and love seats. Imagine how much you can save building your dream sectional. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point.
and you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Continuing coverage of the fatal shooting on Madison's east side.
A private event at Lush Lounge turns deadly, highlighting disturbing revelations about the venue's liquor license. We have the latest on the investigation tonight at 6.
Show us your weather photos, and you could win a First Warn weather umbrella. Send us your weather pics in an email or on the First Warn weather app. We'll select and showcase the winning entries each day on News 3 Now this morning and News 3 Now at 6. Send in your pics to win a First Warn weather umbrella today.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
President Biden is set to meet with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy to continue talks on raising the debt ceiling. The U.S. soon may not be able to pay its bills and possibly dive into a recession if no deal is reached. Nicole Skenga reports from Washington.
With the clock ticking, President Biden and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy return to tense negotiations about raising the nation's debt ceiling.
Our credit card, our debt limit, we have charged so much up that it's bigger than our economy.
Sources tell CBS News the White House is now offering to keep spending flat from this year to next. Republicans, they say, want to increase defense spending while cutting everything else by up to 22%.
I think we can get a deal tonight, we get a deal tomorrow, but you've got to get something done this week to be able to pass it and move it to the Senate.
Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has indicated early June remains a hard deadline, or the U.S. risks defaulting on its debts.
I'm willing to cut spending, and I propose cuts in spending of over $1 trillion.
President Biden cut his trip to Japan short on Sunday night to attend the debt ceiling talks, which lawmakers on Capitol Hill say have reached a sensitive point.
I think people are of goodwill. I don't think there's any interest in us delaying these tough conversations, and so we want this to be productive.
Economists warn that default could put millions of Americans out of work and push the country into a recession. Social Security checks could be delayed, and the nation's credit rating could be lowered. Nicole Skenga, CBS News, the White House.
The Treasury Department also says in the case of a default, veterans benefits, federal worker pay, and tax refunds all could be on the line. Well, let's get a look at your First Warn forecast. That's better news. And here's Julian joining us.
That's right. It's going to feel a lot like summer throughout the next couple of days, but we do have an opportunity for things to cool down just a bit as we get into the mid part of this week. Taking a look at our weather headlines. We are looking for hazy skies, which we had for today, and you can even see behind me to continue throughout the rest of at least tomorrow. But we are going to be cooling down by the time we get into our Wednesday. But then as we head into our holiday weekend, we're looking for more summer-like weather just in time for Memorial Day weekend. So getting into the forecast of what we can be expecting heading into about the next 24 hours, well, any of that smoke that we've been dealing with that's coming in from Canada is likely to be impacting us as we get into tomorrow. The good news is it's not really impacting our air quality as effectively as it did on our Friday, but we're still dealing with a little bit of light cloud cover, but it's mainly going to be clear as we head into the next couple of days. Now, taking a look ahead, temperatures themselves will slide into a bit cooler and comfortable conditions as we get into tonight. Upper 60s for us here in Madison. Clear skies once again, so a lot of that cloud cover is really going to be clearing up, bringing in some radial cooling, so we'll fall into about the middle 50s for tonight, especially for southern Wisconsin. Now, as we head into tomorrow, around 82 for Madison, 84 for Janesville, around 80 for Platteville. Areas to the east, like Watertown and Juneau, are also going to be dealing with the lower 80s, and that's mainly going to be a theme for us here in southern Wisconsin. It's going to feel like summer, even more so than we did for today. So walking through our future track, the good news is that things are going to stay rather quiet. We won't look at much in terms of changes outside of temperatures climbing into the lower 80s by the time we get into our Tuesday afternoon. But for lunchtime, for the morning commute, and even for our evening hours, things are going to stay rather quiet. So if you want to do anything outside, it's definitely optimal weather for it. Heading into Tuesday nights, we're looking for some more cooler weather, but then we're looking at that backdoor cold front, which is going to be bringing in some even cooler weather for our Wednesday. We're talking about starting off into the middle 50s, but the cooler breeze coming in from Lake Michigan as we get those northeasterly winds are going to keep things into the middle 60s. So we're going to be in the 80s tomorrow, but going into Wednesday, we are looking for a cooler trend for us. And just one thing to watch for us that we've been actually well above normal or above normal over the last several days for us here in Madison. So you can take a look over the last couple of days heading into about Sunday. Temperatures have been almost double digits of above normal for this time of year. And we're looking for the next several days to be above seasonable temperatures as well. So we could be seeing even more 80s by the time we're closing out the end of May and heading into the first week of June. Now looking at our 10-day forecast, things are going to cool down for a bit for Wednesday and Thursday, but we're warming back up heading into the weekend. It's not going to be a scorcher, but lower 80s just in time for us heading into Memorial Day. And the next week, we're going to be holding on to those warmth as well. Now taking a look at our first warned traffic, you can see on the east side a bit of some slow spots, especially just outside of Monona, but otherwise the Beltline itself is moving rather smoothly for our 5 p.m. commutes, and so is the interstate. That's going to do it for our weather and traffic. Over to you.
All right, Julian, thank you. The International Space Station welcomed 4 astronauts today from a private flight aboard a SpaceX capsule. They were welcomed by 7 astronauts and cosmonauts already there. The group of newcomers includes retired NASA astronaut Peggy Whitson, who's already spent nearly 2 years in space. She was a chaperone to 3 rookies, including 2 astronauts from Saudi Arabia and Tennessee businessman John Schaffner.
Yeah, I've been dreaming or working toward this since I was 8 in a Young Astronauts Club.
The group blasted off from Kennedy Space Center last night aboard a SpaceX capsule traveling about 15 hours before docking with the 270-mile-high orbiting lab. They'll stay for 8 days and perform more than 20 experiments, including microgravity's effect on stem cell research. Every 40 seconds, someone in the U.S. has a stroke. Coming up next at 5, what you need to know about the warning signs. Stay with us.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It's Green Tag savings time now at Sloan Implement. Get your John Deere S200 series with 4.9% for 60 months. Or John Deere X3s, 5s, and 7s with 1.9% for 48 months.
Power up with Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
Get 11% off everything now at Menards. Suncast storage sheds are perfect for storing outdoor tools and equipment. Save big on this Suncast vertical outdoor storage unit. Just $179.99 after rebate. From outdoor storage to backyard get-togethers, Shelter Logic has you covered. This 3-in-1 shelter converts from a canopy to a fully enclosed storage shelter or expanded event tent in just minutes. Right now, only $269.98 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
What's your lawn care plan for the summer? Having a Maple Leaf lawn care maintenance program means a better looking lawn and more free time for you. Check our website for special discounts and leave the yard work to Maple Leaf, your year-round property care experts.
The ultimate LEGO fan experience. Don't miss Brick Universe, May 27th and 28th. Meet LEGO artists and see incredible works of art. Fun for everyone. Tickets are selling out fast. Visit BrickUniverseUSA.com. BrickUniverseUSA.com.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
At the Spectrum Lab, we're bringing you the best in connectivity with Spectrum One. Get Spectrum Internet with the fastest speeds in the nation, so you always have enough speed for all your devices.
Plus, advanced Wi-Fi delivering state-of-the-art security and privacy.
Plus, Spectrum Mobile gives you unlimited talk, text, and data on a reliable nationwide network.
Get Spectrum One with Spectrum Internet for $49.99 a month, plus advanced Wi-Fi, plus your first line of Spectrum Mobile Unlimited, free for 12 months. Call 833-792-4999. Visit Spectrum.com or Spectrum Store today.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. footnote in my journey. A small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
It's Green Tag savings time now at Sloan Implement. Get your John Deere Z500 with 1.9% for 48 months or John Deere Z700s with 2.9% for 60 months.
Power up with Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. May is Stroke Awareness Month, and the Get Ahead of Stroke campaign is raising awareness so people recognize the symptoms and get treatment right away.
Michael George shares the story of a young woman who survived thanks to the quick thinking of her family.
It's been a year and a half since Leticia Vega had a stroke. She didn't know what was happening and called her mother.
I felt like a pop above my eyebrow on the right side. My left leg started shaking uncontrollably. I wasn't able to express what I wanted to tell her. And my mom is like, she's having a stroke. Get her to the hospital right away.
Leticia, a single mother, was just 41 years old.
I still cannot coordinate my left hand with my right hand.
About 800,000 people suffer a stroke in the United States each year. Leticia's type is less common, caused by a dissection in one of the arteries in her brain.
The artery becomes very narrow here. You can see the area now looks wider, and that's because this stent was placed there and is now holding that area open.
Dr. Christopher Kellner with the Mount Sinai Health System treated Leticia and says everyone should know the warning signs. Be fast. Balance loss, eyesight changes, facial drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty, and time to call 911.
Every 1 minute that passes, 2 million brain cells die. And so there really is a extreme time pressure to get to treatment.
I'm recovering. It's just mentally, I'm not doing well. Depression, anxiety, fear.
Doctors also found evidence Leticia suffered another stroke previously. She wants others to know the symptoms.
Just go to the hospital. Even if you feel like it's a waste of time, your life is not a waste of time.
She started working out again and takes a low-dose aspirin daily to reduce her chances of having another stroke. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
And major risk factors for stroke include high blood pressure, diabetes, heart and blood vessel diseases, high cholesterol, and smoking.
We're back with a final check of your First Warn forecast after a short break.
We're kicking off Bob's Summer of Savings in all my stores coast to coast this Memorial Day weekend. Celebrating over 30 years of furniture fun in my now 165 stores across the United States. Plus, get Bob's discount on my highly rated furniture, mattresses, and more.
This is Matt Gunderson. We recently celebrated the life of Margaret, who never let a cookie jar run empty. Her service was cookie-themed, with everyone enjoying her tasty treats. Allow us to personalize every detail of a life well lived.
Do you trust your insurance agent? Do you trust your insurance company? Well, you'd better. Because all they've really sold you is a promise. A promise to be there when things go bad. A promise to take care of you. To step up and put everything back the way it was. So, if you don't trust your insurance company, maybe it's time to find one you do trust. West Bend. The worst brings out our best.
Celebrate Memorial Day at Brothers Maine, where unbeatable appliance deals come with expert advice. Enjoy special prices and free delivery on top brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid. Visit us today and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
This is how legends are.
2024 Chevy Silverado HD with Duramax diesel. And the Chevy Silverado with powerful TurboMax engine. No matter what route you take, there's a Chevy truck to get you there. Find new roads. Get 1.9% financing on all 2023 Silverado 1500 LT TurboMax pickups, or current Chevy owners get $5,250 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in Wisconsin.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again.
Trust your feet to Morgan's shoes.
Why Nout? Why not? Feel the comfort and durability of Nout footwear at Morgan Shoes. Nout shoes and sandals feature full-grain leathers in a multitude of colors. Nout's cork and latex composite insole is designed for daily comfort and support, and they are made to last. You'll enjoy Nout's luxury. Shop Morgan Shoes Hilldale for your next pair.
Morgan Shoes, trusted since 1961.
Morgan Shoes Hilldale.
Get Bob's discount on furniture, on lamps, on chairs, on mattresses, on rugs, too.
Get Bob's discount.
Only at Bob's Discount Furniture.
Coming up on the CBS Evening News, the NAACP has issued a travel advisory for the state of Florida. Why the civil rights group is warning travelers of an openly hostile environment in the Sunshine State and calling out Governor Ron DeSantis. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And we go to Julian for a final check of the forecast.
Well, things are going to be pretty smooth sailing. Feeling a lot like summer as well over the next couple of days, but it's going to cool down for Wednesday and Thursday, but that will be rather brief. We're still looking at gorgeous weather outside, plenty of sunshine, not really looking at any kind of rain chances until we potentially get into Memorial Day and then heading into next week. Otherwise, our holiday weekend is going to be shaping up pretty picture perfect with plenty of sunshine and warm temperatures just in time for the holiday.
Yeah, nice stretch.
Yeah, all right, Julian, thank you. CBS Evening News is up next with Nora O'Donnell. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 now at 6.